I couldn't figure out what was happening. A lady stopped me and said, Mr. Gordon. I knew I was in trouble when she said Mr. Gordon. I said, yes, may I help you? I watched your show, the round table last time around, and I just got to ask you one thing. I said, what's that? Why men don't open the doors for ladies anymore? I said, what? She said, yeah, I'm curious. I want to know why men don't open the door for women anymore. I said, well, I do. I said, I do it all the time. You trying to say chivalry is dead? She said, no. I said, you know what? I think we'll do that on the show one day and ask about it. So I started asking around to other people, other ladies, and I got such a mixed on what it is. One lady said to me, nobody do nothing for me. I open my own door. I said, well, that answered that question. One of them. Another one said, it would be nice to have a man to open up the door for me and all that good stuff. I said, okay, all right. So I asked somebody else, and she said she was in between. She wants to do things on her own, but she don't want to look needy and need help all the time. I said, boy, it's a variety of answers coming my way. So I think our next roundtable coming up next year, that we're going to tackle that issue and find out exactly what it is that women want, which I know, being a man, I can't answer that question because I don't even know the answer because it varies from one woman to another. So, but that's what's been hitting on me, and everybody been answering that question. I don't know where they came with this from. They pretty well chose my next topic for the round table. So, but anyway, everybody, it is now 29 minutes after the hour, and right here live, we have Joseph Lee and Tomas Henderson. Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
Good morning.
So,
Konnichiwa.
Okay, well, we know you in Japan. Mr. Henderson, where are you at?
I'm currently in New York City.
Oh, golly. We San Antonio, Japan, New York City. We got half the world covered right now. So,
well, I like to say that's kind of, what we bring to the table. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah,
we got a very good friend, part of the Impact team collaboration. I saw Martha come online here. So shout out to the Impact collaboration team, Martha Rice. Just wanted to give a shout out, of course, and very excited to have Tomas Henderson, a good friend of mine. We worked together for years. We are fraternity brothers to the greatest fraternity in the world, Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity, working with the youth as well. And we actually helped to grow that Kappa League program in San Antonio, Texas. So we got to work together. I can vouch for this man's work ethic. I can vouch for what he brings to the table and helping to take our youth to the next level. And, right in time for, and not just youth, adults as well, but just in time for New Year's. I know those New Year's resolutions are coming around.
Yeah.
So one of the and I'm going to let Tomas, lay it out a little bit further. But he's one of the life coaches on the team, and he's got some things he's going to talk to you about. He's also CEO of Star Coaching LLC. So one of the things I want people to know about the Impact Collaboration team, we are all business owners as well as a part of this collaboration. So you have, all of us own LLCs or our own businesses, but we all come together and have created this internal network of helping professionals, and all pretty successful in multiple facets of our careers, but really wanting to help people. And so this is one of my star hitters. I call them, I talked about them, on here. I don't know if he knows it or not. You have to go back through a couple of the other episodes, but, one of the things he's going to talk about is, how to strategically think and attain realistic goals. So when we set these goals, one of the things my grandfather and a lot of the elders used to tell me is, if you fail to plan, you're already planning to fail, right? So bringing someone like Tomas Henderson to the table, and I'll let Mr. Tomas go ahead and lay it out. You have to have a plan in place, and this is one of the life coaches that has performed at very high levels and will continue to help others to do so. So I want to let you have the floor and go ahead and speak, and I'm going to fall to the background and to give shout outs to everybody on online here, while he's doing this thing. So, Mr. Tomas, please take the floor and talk about what you want to bring to the table and to the team.
All right, before you go, I got to mention just one thing is we have been having issues with Facebook not letting people on, but
Ooh.
but I got that sort of settled right now because now we're live on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. So if you can't get on, if you're listening on the radio on our app, go to our website, WSANradio.com, and scroll down to the bottom of the page. You see the live feed on Twitch. Also, you can also go to our YouTube page, which is WSAN Radio SA, because a question's been coming to me saying they can't log in, they can't see anything. Well, now you have 3 options. Okay? All right, sir. Sorry about that. Just want to get that in there so we get as many people on as possible.
That's right.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
All right, and I'll just give the audience a little bit about me. My name is Tomas Henderson, and I am from Florida. I actually had the pleasure of coming through the Guide Right program. I'm in Kappa League, and then that's when I met Brother Lee out when in San Antonio, was with my 7 of 8 tours around the world for my actual job. And it was a pleasure out there, and that's when I got more of insight, because through that program, we do a lot of mentoring, but I had already been coaching as well. And I'll just give you a quick background into my coaching journey. I was with the federal government now going on 19 years. And as I was ascending the ladder, we were actually having coaches along the way as we were going to our leadership schools and things like that. And one of my coaches pulled me out, was like, hey, you should consider becoming a coach. I'm like, man, I got this mentoring thing in a bag. I've been doing this for years. I like this mentoring thing. What is this coaching thing? Right. And so got a lot of insight on it. And I actually did my own independent study and paid for my own program to get a better understanding of it. And then I was selected by the government to actually go to their coaching program, where now I currently serve as an executive leadership coach for Department of Defense. And I also serve as a conflict coach for General Counsel. And recently, I took on another certification to become a trauma-informed coach due to the personnel that we work with in our line of work. So with that, I'm a trifecta when it comes to the coaching realm. And I bring different things to the table. But what I would specifically like to speak with you guys today is about vision boards. And my company is just Start Coaching, Strategically Thinking and Attaining Results. That's what it's about. Because of my executive leadership coaching, I got to deal with leaders who are in the government around the Colonel 06 and SCS level are typically my clients, or command chiefs, if you will. So to help them get, their commands and things moving forward. And also in the private sector, I get to work with a lot of CEOs and everyone. And the thing is, it's always about that strategic planning, right? At the lower levels, we do tactical planning, and that's nice, but we think in strategically, that is a much further vision. And that's very important. And one thing I have, my trademark is the harmonious 7. And I'll get into a little bit more about that. So when I do a vision board, I do it I have the clients, we call it a vision board naturally, right? Because that's what we do. But I like to call it the accountability board. And with that, because when you put that thing out there, a lot of people are like, I just want to do it in my head and all. They're like, no. We need to put this thing on paper so I know what to hold you accountable for. And what whoever in your household or whoever your significant other, whoever, they can hold you accountable for when you say you want to do these things. But what I like to do is to focus on it on in 7 different aspects of one's life. It's the spirituality, physical wealth. I don't believe in health. I believe health is wealth. So I took the word health out of my thing altogether. It's always just physical wealth, your mental wealth, your family, your career, your finances, and your social environment. Because when these things are in line, these 7 things are in harmony, you get to operate at what the pineal gland, that third eye. And that is the God eye, as many have known it as. And the reason why I say these 7 things, we look at it we look at the number 7 is very powerful. You look at the modern day Gregorian work, it consists of 7 days, equivalent to a quarter of a lunar year. You have the number 7. It has religious significance for those that are Abrahamic religions, right? We believe that the world was created in 7 days. And then the study of numerology look at the number 7 as those that are often seen as deep thinkers and seekers of truth, driven by a hunger for knowledge and a profound desire to understand the mysteries of life. Embracing solitude and introspection, they find solace in exploring the depths of their minds and connecting with the spiritual realm. And so again, these things, like I said, these things bring life to you. And these boards, right? A lot of people, sometimes you see some of these boards and I see a lot of little pictures and things posted on it. I'm like, but what does that mean? How are you really going to attain that? And what is that you're actually seeking? And that's one thing we're like, oh, well, I would like to take this trip. Okay, you say you like to take this trip, but what steps are you doing to prepare for that trip? Can you afford this trip? Or you just got it on this board, right? And many things like, oh, well, you can't afford that trip if your finances are out of whack. Are you doing this trip solo or are you going with somebody else? Like, who's going to hold you accountable for this? Oh, and our favorite one, what's January 1st? All the gyms are full. I'm going to get in shape. Well, what does get in shape look like? You're telling me you want to get in shape. What do you actually want to do? You want to lose some pounds. You want to lose your waistline. You want to get your A1C down. Like, we need to have a specific goal of what you want to do, because getting in shape means so many different things to different people. And I like to operate in clarity. For all my clients, I always ask, okay, so you said this word. I don't want to assume anything. What does this mean to you? And once you can tell me what that actually means to you, then we can start working on these steps to make sure that you get to there and a specific goal and a time frame. And that's another thing. We like to set goals, but we don't want to give like specific time frames. And one example, like I said, I'm going to just throw an example out here. We're talking about setting realistic goals. And okay, like I said, we want to lose weight. Okay, your goal is to lose weight. You want to lose 10 pounds by the end of the year. Okay, well, how are you going to do that? Well, I want to lose at a minimum a half a pound a month. Okay, that sounds good. But what steps are you going to take to get there? Go to the gym at least 3 times a week. Take the stairs instead of the elevator. Avoid dining out invitations, especially during holiday season, because we like to eat and go around the thing. And up here in New York City, no one likes to carry lunch. I bring my lunch because I'm cheap. I'm going to be honest with you. Well, I'm fiscally responsible. I'm not going to call myself cheap. I'm fiscally responsible. I like to bring my lunch to work. Get a refrigerator and pantry of fatty and sugary foods. That's one of our biggest things, because diabetes and everything else, we have a lot of significant health issues in our community. And, that's something we really need to take into accountability. And go for a walk when the thoughts of sweets come to your mind, and make healthier shopping decisions. See, these are realistic steps, right? And so if you have this thing on your vision board and your accountability partner know how you're going to get there. So when they see that you're taking all these dining invitations, like, hey, you said you weren't going to do this, right? This is your plan. What are you doing? And hey, you said you're going to get rid of the pantry of the sugary foods, but yet you're still sneaking them in your car because I saw the wrapper in there. Like, are you really trying to get to this goal that you're setting? And that's the way I like to get things. I like to get to the finite point on things, and hey, how are you going to get there and stuff like that. And when the very important part of it is the planning process, right? The questions I always ask, hey, who will help you and be involved in these steps? And when should these steps be completed? What refers to the steps and changes as well as the resource needed to make it happen. So again, once you see all these things put together, you realize this not necessarily a vision board. This is more of an accountability board. Are you going to do what the heck you said you're going to do? And so with that, like I said, I like to do these things and do it strategically. And I like to, work with clients in this realm and get this thing to there. And like I tell people, I know it's good to try to do the vision board at the end of the year sometimes, but sometimes it's not ideal for people. Actually, spring is sometimes better for a lot of people. They like to see things, but they're like, hey, I just want to do it when my mind is fresh. I'm deep and depressed down in the winter. I don't have time to think about it. I say, okay, well, you do the vision board in the time frame that work for you. Those who like to do it at the end of the year in the winter times because they got time, fine, do that. Those in the spring, do it. But I say, but you need to have something, and you need to have something that is attainable. Right. We need to set smart objectives and goals when you have these. Don't just be throwing this nonsense up on the board that you know you're not going to do, because you're not lying to no one else. You're lying to yourself. And that's what I say. The craziest person is the world, the one who lied to themselves and started believing it. That's a dangerous person, in fact.
Yeah.
But I'll step back for a second. Do you guys have any questions?
Yeah, I got one question for you with the vision board. I think that is a great concept because I used it years ago and I reached my goals, but I didn't have nobody keeping me in check. I kept my own self in check. When I felt like I was doing something I should be just doing, I said, Ron, what are you doing? But if somebody out there wants to reach their goal, should they have somebody go along with them to make sure they obtain their objective?
Well, a lot of people lack the proper discipline. See, Ron, what you're telling me is that you have discipline, like myself, right? So that's, I can hold myself accountable, but I also like to have accountability partner. So another one of our fraternity brothers who's an NPAC, who's my line brother, is one of my accountability partners. So I don't just share, I share this thing with 4 different people. So like, hey, if you guys see me slipping, let me know. And even though you're well disciplined, it is good to have somebody else. It's also good that, another observer, an outside, a neutral observer who can make sure that you're doing what you say you're going to do.
Okay.
To keep you honest.
I like if you're trying to attain a goal or goals or a major outcomes in life, if you don't have someone to kind of help you stay on track, what I call you is delusion. Because what's going to happen is life is going to knock you off track. There's going to be things that come along, and if you're not careful, like if you think about a ship, and one of the presentations I do is a GPS presentation. If you were to chart a course in the ocean, you say, hey, I want to go all the way to the United States. And I know it's west or east, wherever, depending on wherever you decide to head that way. If you don't have something to help guide you, you might end up in a completely different direction. Right. So it's good to have that accountability partner. It's good to have a plan. It's good to have someone to say, look, and it's also good to have a mentor. Everything I've done in terms of my practice, everything I've done in terms of education, and then if I decide to go ahead and get the PhD, I'm going to make sure I've already started identifying the people that are going to help me to accomplish that. And each one of those folks have PhDs. So they have already navigated some of those waters. So I don't take life coaching lightly. I know I've seen the effect of it. I've seen, what happens once I get done with the clinical side, connecting folks with, strong life coaching programs like that. It really allows you to kind of make everything gel and then, move forward. And I just want to say I've looked through the program. I understand what Tomas does with this thing. And I love the smart objectives that's in this program. So if you think about it, smart objectives, when you're trying to reach goals, they need to be specific, they need to be measurable, they need to be obtainable, they need to be realistic. And then it's also, if you don't do this, this is where people really go off, that you need to set a certain time. And then you have to go back and revisit that time because, you set goals and things and all that. And, with me, even with this, when I talk to you, Ron, what do? I say, hey, what are the numbers, right?
Yeah.
Because in my mind, I had certain numbers I wanted to hit to. We've surpassed those numbers, right? But now what's the next mountain? And then what happens is a crazy thing when you surround yourself with people that are focus driven, have people holding you accountable, spiritual things start happening, right? Because one of the reasons I'm in Japan is because of things that are happening right here on this vision board. I wanted to go someplace spiritual. I wanted to go someplace where I could relax, where I could focus, where I could do some of the things I want to do. And you've seen it, Impact is growing. The collaboration team is growing. We're bringing on another life coach. And actually the vision is getting bigger than what I had anticipated. I started off only wanting 4 additional folks. I even said that. Tomas, I just said that. I said, I mean, I don't want nobody but 4 people, and it's grown. I've got to add 2 more, and I keep saying that's it. That's all I'm gonna do. But God said, well, whose plan is it? Impact was something that was given to me in terms of calling, anointing, whatever you want to call it, because I was seeing kids that are black and brown getting locked up, and I thought I wanted to go to law school, and then the Lord said, no, that's not what I have for you. I need you to get these kids before they get into the system, get into the psyche, get into the mindset, address that school to prison pipeline paradigm. And that's how all this started. Now, how it got me all the way to Japan, well, that's a whole different ball game, right? But I'm still doing that same thing. I still got my office. If you look at that number, 616-617-9522, that is my number from Grand Rapids, Michigan. So when you elevate, you still stay grounded, but then you hit higher heights, and that's how you grow, right? So there's been a lot of this life coaching, and people will say, how do you do it, Joe? How do you? I can't tell you all that, but I can connect you with some folks that know how I did it and let you talk to them and coach, because I can't do it for you. I've got to help you help yourself, and then duplicate that, create your own business. You get out there in the community and help other folks, right? Because, I sit out there, and I took a picture of this today. I was out there looking outside the window. And in the East China Sea right now, there's people out there fishing constantly outside off my patio. And I just, it's like God was telling me, hey, you're out here teaching people how to fish. And by default, and you got to have other strong fishermen like Tomas, like Martha, like, Jacques, like, Craig, like, Tamara Spears, like the other, it's going to be a couple more likes coming along. But we've got a lot of need out here. We've got a lot of need clinically. We've got a lot of need life-wise. And I want to say, I got to give a shout out to my wife, right? And I'm gonna give you an example of this. My wife is a 2-time cancer survivor. We've talked about her story. But when you have a vision and you have someone holding you accountable, let me tell you how things can grow and how things can go. When the pandemic hit, some people took that as a time to kind of just be introverted, not accomplish much, or, kind of just be withdrawn. My wife got her bachelor's and her master's degree in that time frame. She saw a window where she's going to be at home anyway. So she said, let me maximize that time. That was on her vision board. That was in her mindset. So she saw that opportunity. Now, if she didn't have that already in her mind, that goal, and she, I was helping to keep her accountable, but she was already driven. And I remember the little sign on the door in the office upstairs saying, hey, I'm a night owl. I'm getting things done. And she got it done, right? Yeah. But it's important to have somebody to help hold you accountable, because there can be some times when you get tired or when you want to delay. And just the fact, somebody's going to be calling you and saying, hey, did you get this done? It's going to be that little extra push that it kind of gets you out of bed, or, get you to knock things out. That's why you have a trainer when you go to the gym, because you don't want, you want to, you don't want to have that conversation like, hey, man, you only did 10, reps, last time. You can't get to 11. You've got to, elevate. So it's good to have that in there. And I feel like I'm going on a little bit too much, but I understand the importance of this. And I want Tomas to put his contact information in the chat, down there, and so that you can reach out to him. And, and see, the cool thing about being a life coach worldwide, to all my worldwide listeners, you can reach out to Tomas and, connect with a very successful life coach. You've seen the levels that you've seen, the folks that he's working with. And I'm sure that he will work with other folks other than those high performers in the military realm and government realm. This is something we want to, take all this good information, all these strategies, and help other people that maybe want to start businesses, maybe want to, affect their lives and their communities in a positive way, but just need some help actually setting up a systematic plan and doing that and accountable. And, that's what this is about, right? And it's also good for your mental health. Achieving your goals in life can help you in many ways, economically, and staying in balance. Because you can achieve a goal, but if you don't stay in balance, it's going to be a short-lived progress. So, good stuff. Yeah. So I give the floor to, I yield the floor to, Ron and Brother Henderson again, and I'm going to fall back to the background.
All right. I get this wrong all the time. I hope I get it right this time around. My late uncle, Bishop Iglehart, will always say, "Your attitude." How did he put it? Your attitude affects your. I can't think of it now. I had on
Your
tip of my tip.
attitude will determine your
Determine your
altitude.
Your
altitude.
altitude. Yeah, there you go.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
I had it right there. He will always say that. He said, if you wanna fly, you have to check your attitude, because that is true. Because sometimes your attitude will run off people. You could walk in a room, people see right now that brother's just got an attitude. I'm not going to talk to them, because you go in a room, and you could go in any room right now today, and you could point out leaders without even saying a word. They don't have to say a word. That's a leader right there, by the way their posture, by the way they walk, or the way they talk. You know that automatically. Then you have your wannabe leaders. Those are the ones that's outspoken, and like James Brown would say, talking loud ain't saying nothing. And you see that all the time. So when you said get that board together, I guarantee you the one that's not a leader be the first in line trying to get something together and messing it up. And I'm in the right direction on that, Tomas, I mean.
Well, and I would say that, but and then the thing is, or like I said, these are the people who just gonna cut things out of the magazine and throw it up on the board. Don't have no vision to get there. Just say, I want to do this, I want to do this, and I want to do this. Yeah, you want to do it, but how are you gonna get there? And that's the part I want to talk about. I want to do great. I want to live to be 125, but what am I doing to get there? What steps am I really doing to get there? And that's the hard part. And why you said that. And many guys, you realize I do not have a website, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because I'm very selective about who I take. I have it where because I'm not gonna waste your time, and I'm sure they're not gonna allow you to waste mine. Time is money, right. And I refuse to sit out here and let you waste over yourself. And with that being said, I did put my contact in there. If you're interested, it's info@starcoachingllc.com. But I'm gonna just give you a quick read on the mission and vision of the company, so you understand. Because I go for the jugular. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm straight direct, because like I said, time is money.
Yeah.
So my thing is, the mission is being a vessel to assist you with moving your goalposts in both your academic or personal lives. The vision is to ensure that you have the necessary tools to strategically think and attain results. How am I going to do this? Ensuring and maintaining accountability to keep you on your trajectory. That's that vision board. Having the tough conversations / carefrontations. See, I love carefrontation. I'll explain that in a second. To ensure that you have made attainable goals. Providing timely and realistic feedback. Why? You were born to be great, but sometimes in life you need that extra nudge to get across the finish line. So let's talk about confrontations. See, a lot of people are we don't have confrontations. See, I care enough about you to bring this to your attention. So let's have this hard conversation. A lot of people have a hard time having those hard conversations. But I believe with an accountability partner, they can have it because they're doing it from a place of love. No one is doing this from a place of destruction. It's from a place of love to ensure that you're doing what you say you need to do. And that's one thing I am, the way I am, I'm very direct and blunt. So I tell people, if that is a hard approach for you, I do have a lot of humility and empathy, but I care enough about you because, again, like I said, I'm operating on the level 7. That's that God eye. We have to operate in a realm that gives us a holistic meaning, right? So we don't have time to play with that. We got to be about business.
I agree with you, because a lot of people always want the sugar-coated version of things, and they feel good when you give them that. But are you helping them or enabling them?
Ron, I've said this before from a therapeutic standpoint. I will fire myself.
Yeah.
From working with the client. If we're not reading, even though the life coaching is a little different from the clinical side, it's very similar. Because I set a treatment plan and things of that nature. If I see person aren't doing the homework and not getting things done, look, I've got a waiting list. I've had one for a couple of years now. And I want to try to get some of those folks help. But if I'm meeting with you, hey, listen, I'm not trying to be your friend. You came to me for something. Let's get it done. And then when we get that piece done, then I'm going to pass you on to somebody else to do the life coaching piece, because that's not the area that I really want to focus on. So you see, I've surrounded myself with people that kind of think like I do, and we're about business. So if you're coming to me or coming to Tomas, if you're coming to anybody in the impact collaboration, and you're not serious, it's not going to work out.
Yeah.
If you don't really want results, because we're very result driven. From the fraternity we belong to the mindset, to the business we are in, we're about achievement. We're about achieving the goals that we set. And these are the tools and these are the things that we need to do. So you got to get your mind right. Then you got to get your plan right. Then you go ahead and achieve. And you can tell when somebody starts as in the military, they say when they start malingering, then I can't linger. I got to let you figure it out. And sometimes you need to let people go so they can sit in their stuff long enough so that they get motivated to actually make the change. So one of the ways I do it in my practice, if you miss 1 or 2 appointments, you go to the back of the line.
Because
don't call me.
Yeah,
I mean, you can call me, but you're going to have to wait to go through
Yeah.
And then by the time I get around to you again, you're like, whoo, Mr. Lee. Yeah, I need to. Let's go ahead. I know what you said. I already did that. Now let's move on to the next level. You know what I'm saying? So, that's what it's about. So we really, so that's a very genuine sentiment to say, I care enough about you to let you go, right? And even think about that in a relation standpoint. We talk about relationship wise. Sometimes you need to let people go so they can, appreciate either what they had in a relationship, what they had in a professional, situation in a business. I see it all the time. A lot of my mentors are older, and they wouldn't even give you the time of day if they knew you weren't serious. I'll just be real. I can call them out. There was a brother by the name of Clyde Poe, who was one of the legendary captains in the northern province. And he basically, let me know that, I invested in you because I knew you were going to do something with it. And he observed me for a while before he made that investment.
Yeah.
So you always got to achieve. You always have to be serious about what you're trying to do because people are watching. And your next door that's open may be open because of something you're doing right now. And they see potential in you, or whatever the case may be. So it's very important. That's one of the things we instill into the kids, into the teens. Be mindful of how you carry yourself, who you're talking to. You don't know who's going to give you a scholarship, who's going to open up a door to an internship, who's going to do what. But you need to be positioning yourself, thinking critically and understanding what this environment is and making sure your mind is right. Because right now, as I've said on the show many times, our folks, our people of color I'm speaking of, we are suffering from so many different issues in terms of suicidal ideation, mental illness, things of that nature. So we got to get your mind right. But then we get your mind right, you got to get your plan right. And then maybe you have to get your relationship right. So go talk to Martha if you need to get the relationship right. Do that. I can't deal with too much relationship counseling right now, so I'm gonna pass all that to Martha or Tamara Spears up in Michigan. My patience is, as I get older, my patience is getting thinner, so I got to pass that on. So I've been married for 20 years, and I can just, I got a couple of tests, and people either love me or hate me, but when they make it through the process, that marriage is strong. If they make it through the process,
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you in a second, you're talking to the wrong counselor. There's an attorney you need to talk to get you up out of this situation because this ain't gonna work. However, I'm direct, and I like working with direct folks, and people that want direct feedback. So a little different than client-centered. It's client-centered, but it's more gestalt for those who want to look up, my strategy and counseling. And I look for people that are going to be direct because who wants their time wasted?
Amen.
I don't.
Yeah.
And I don't think anybody else does either.
Yeah.
Or their money.
Yeah. So, y'all profession is the top of the list now. And the reason why I said that, because they always say who's at the top of the list. Nurses come after y'all, the way things are going nowadays. I think Martha quoted one time, there's 350 patients to each one of the life coaches out there. Being overwhelmed. And like you said, you don't have time for nobody playing games. You got people waiting that really want to do something with their life. So basically, what I was summing up what you were saying, I could show you better than tell you. That was my grandma deal right there. She said, I'm not saying anything, but I can show you better than tell you. So when they procrastinate, not coming, doing their homework you gave them, do all that, yes, you have to be point blank, look here. We're not making it right now. I'm pretty sure you don't say you got to go home. You ain't got to go home, but you got to get out of my office. I'm pretty sure you don't say it like that. You say it nice, professional, like get out. No, just kidding. But don't waste your time.
I might have said it just like that. That works.
Like Martin, get the stepping.
Yeah, but I agree with you. Don't waste my time. My time and your time. Come on now. You can't do that. If we make a plan for you, you need to follow through on that plan. And as Mr. Henderson was saying, it's tough love. I'm going to tell you like it is. I'm not sugarcoating anything. And I think that's what society needs right now, because we got so many people out there that with a silver spoon in their mouth think they can do whatever they want to do. Then when they get told no, they go crazy. Society in the whole learn how to have entitled people during and after the pandemic.
I want to back up to what your grandmother said. When she said that I could show you better than I could tell you, usually that was in a situation where you were about to get showed something.
Yep.
And it generally wasn't too positive of an experience at that particular point in time.
No.
If I know how the context of that conversation. So I know when I heard something like that, something was going to be either flying at me, or I was about to have to go out and get something from the backyard that resembled a switch.
Yep.
And we had a weeping willow tree, so that was never a good walk. That was never a good walk to the tree or back from the tree. That was never. I was almost kind of glad when that tree went down. I was like, I'm free. I was a grown man by the time that thing went down. But I will tell you, we're in a society where people talk about mental health. They talk about progress, but they really don't know of what they speak a lot of times, right? They want to blame this or blame that or whatever. And it really starts, mental health, life coaching, things of that nature really start in elementary school. When you're dealing with character development, when you're dealing with, how to talk to folks, how to set goals and achieve. And then when you come to somebody like myself, or you come to somebody like Tomas, these should be familiar principles that that we're building on to help you to get to where you're trying to get. But sometimes, unfortunately, when kids are given everything at an early age, and we talk about this in the GPS presentation, these kids are walking around with $300 shoes and barely passing school.
Yeah.
What are we doing? What are we doing? What message does that give our kids? Yeah, you can look good, but not have any substance. You can look good. You're going to have all these things given to you, but you don't have to perform. And then you wonder why. You get to the workplace where you come in, and I'll tell you, I'm looking at kids walking around here in Japan. They're toddler age or a little higher, going to school, walking to school on their own. Already independent, already focused, already. Yeah. And then you start competing with kids like that. You start to see what we need to be doing in terms of getting our kids more independent, thinking on their own, getting that hunger to go, because, some places you don't get the opportunity to go to college. You gotta earn that right. So they understand the need to perform and attain these goals. It becomes automatic. So when you run across somebody like Tomas or myself that's trying to work our way out of a job with folks, we're not going to sit there and wait for you to get those elements. You have to do your part, right? So if you're serious, contact us. If not, get serious, and then you can contact us, because we're not going to hold you up. Nobody on my team is going to hold you up. Mm-hmm. In terms of if you're not really trying to get help or whatever the case may be. Everybody I know, some might say it nicer than others, but you're going to either get the help or get on, or or do something. We'll see.
Well,
And one
Mark,
thing I'd like to say,
go ahead.
real quick, and like Joe was saying, and he'll say he get rid of a client. So what we call it in life coaching is called AIR. We use the AIR tool: advise, infer, and release. We advise, we refer, or we release.
Yeah.
I don't know. We make a determination because one thing, our cause is greater than the current crisis, right? And I tell the client, I want to hear your problem once. The next conversation need to be about your strategy and solutions.
Yes.
And I tell my team, at work, the same thing. Okay, you bring me that problem once. So how are we going to, so what's the next steps? What are we doing? I don't want to hear that again. Because a lot of people like to stay on the victim side of house. You got to move from victim to victor. And the problem is, that's why I help out on the trauma side as well. And a lot of people have it confused, right? The difference between coaching, therapy, counseling, and mentoring. Therapy and counseling help fix your past, those things that happen. Mentoring is someone who, typically for the most part, been there trying to get to the place that you want to go. A coach can actually be from any discipline. We got to just hear what you got to say and move. We're there for a short period of time. That's why we tell you it is not a long-term thing like mentoring. Mentoring is a long-term solution. Coaching, we got our sessions. We got to get you here in this time frame. Let's hit it and quit it.
Yeah, but Martha just came up with some. She said, if you are not ready for a change, come back when you are ready. And
I'm trying to tell you, that's another one of the impact team. Look,
Keep them coming, Martha.
listen, Craig, you got 4 of the member of the team right there, and I'm telling you, like, people that are results driven, we'll give you time. In therapeutic side, we have to work through people that have issues and baggage and things of that nature. But, I'm not going to dwell too long on the situation that got you here. We're trying to, you got to start doing that work to try to get to, a solution. And I love solution focused work because, everybody's coming to try to get something, done. So we try to work through that. When you're serious, we'll get to it. If not, we're going to help you to get serious because, everybody wants to do better.
yeah,
Everybody wants to, progress. I don't know too many people that want to say, you know what, I want to be in the exact same place in 5 years in my life and not achieve anything. But then there are people that end up in the exact same position 5 years or worse. And that's because they haven't set tangible, realistic, attainable goals that are measurable that can be, assisted in terms of you getting there. So that's what this is about, right? And, when you're depressed, so I'll give you a perfect example how this works. When you go through depression, you're not motivated to go through, to try to get to these things. You're just trying to, make it day to day. So you get past that psychosis, that issue, and then you can move on to life coaching. We talk about Craig and what he brought to the table with church hurt. You get past the trauma, then where do you want to be spiritually? Where do you want to, what do you want to do? And how do you want to progress? So you can fit most of these pieces are interchangeable, but you just have to have kind of an idea of where you want to be in your life. And then get there. This thing, we be in here in Okinawa, Japan, it was a vision. We wanted to travel, we wanted the opportunity, and then we set that thing in motion and achieved it. It didn't happen overnight. And then you see the result, like, how did that happen? Well, yeah, it was a plan years ago that, I elevated. Didn't tell too many people about it, but the opportunity came, we were looking for it, and we were prepared for it. That's the key part. And Ron, part of it, that it took preparation for me to be over here and a team of folks, which, you're a part of, that team on the real estate side. So, it takes a team. It takes somebody to help to hold accountable and to help you to achieve those things, so I'm talking too much, man.
No,
Pass this on.
let me ask you something. I hear this all the time with couples. We always say there's water under the bridge. If you discuss something and you agree to disagree or disagree, whatever on, then the next discussion come up. I'm using the word discussion, not argument. The next discussion come up, the same thing comes up. That person never got over that. How do you go about combating that? Like I think I told Joseph, I took social skills years ago, and one of the things the guy said is, you when you react on something, you react and offer emotion. You need to sit back, relax, think about it, and then respond. But when couples get into that situation, they always bring up, here, I said, there you go, bring up that old stuff again. I thought we settled that already. So how do you go about that?
Well, Martha just put something in there. I'm not sure if she was responding to that, but talk about assessing the roadblocks. You hit the nail on the head. When you talk about not responding in emotion, one of the things that I have folks do in relationships is I want you to write down your response and then revisit it once you calm down, maybe the next day, and then read that response back. And you think about what would happen if you were to have made that comment. And a lot of times when you look back at what you said and what you would want to convey, and then see how you think that would have been interpreted, you can make your changes yourself, right? So one of the things for counseling and for life coaching is that we want to give you the tools, show you how to use them, and then let you go off and hopefully have a stronger relationship. So when a person says that it's water under the bridge and they keep revisiting it, then unless they live under the bridge, it's not over.
Yeah.
They're still in it. So they haven't healed from it. So they say it's water under the bridge, but some people like to keep that little quick trail down to the water when it's convenient to bring it back up. And that's really not what water under the bridge means. You need to understand why you're under, what that situation is, dissect it, get it over with, understand what your part of it is and what their part of it is. Then you can truly put it under the bridge, because, when you start to go back to that water, say, hey, no, I know what this stench is.
Mm-hmm.
This is already down river. So why are you holding on to it?
Mm-hmm.
What's in your psyche that's causing you to hold on to something that you said was supposed to be under the bridge? Either you're going to get on with it or you're going to live in it. And you got to figure that out. And you got to figure out why you're holding on to it. And a lot of times it's because of some insecurity or something that's going on that you haven't really dealt with, that you're projecting to your significant other, or that person has not stopped doing what they said they were doing, or what said they were going to stop doing, that is. So yeah. Tomas had his hand up. Let me let you get in there.
Yeah, quick thing I want to say, because again, it just reminds me of Psalm. It says, yea, do I walk through the valley of the shadow of death? But the problem is, a lot of people, yea, do I walk through. A lot of people like to pitch tents there and build compounds. Go through the storm. Don't stay in it. Like, my whole thing is, baby, you're not over that. Like you said, why are you coming back to something that you said you're over? But then again, we have to look at the trauma, right? And a lot of these things are trauma responses. And that's what we really don't talk about. Because again, and the reason why I removed the word health and put wealth in there, when you hear wealth means something to people. Health, how many of us would be like, you know what, I'll get to that doctor appointment. Like I said, people at work, oh, nah, I'm gonna just push this appointment off later. I got this job. I got to do this. I got to do this. I said, no, you don't. Health is wealth. When we start changing that word from health to wealth, and that's what I did in my organization. I'm like, no, I told our psychiatrists, I'm like, no, we don't say mental health no more. We say mental wealth, because it means something different. When you say wealth, that shocks the soul. You say health, okay, I'll put this appointment off. I'll get to it. And when you start understanding how important your mental and physical wealth are to you and how priceless those things are, you move different.
Yeah. Amen to that.
So Martha had a comment down there that I got to read. It said, the reason they bring up old stuff is because someone wasn't resolved. That's a sign of poor communication. So again, kind of the same. I didn't read that before I said my piece. So, you see that, that's how it is. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it is true as well. We did a workshop for the Texas Black School Board Association, and it was a director from Detroit, not mental health, but a medical doctor who was on the school board, and he said that he had to learn that the hard way. He had achieved all these things, and he was also a pastor, and he had got this mega church. I'm not going to say the name of the church. And he said he remembered it was a New Year's Eve a few years ago, probably more than a couple of years ago now. And he said his eyes started to shut, and he couldn't do anything about it. His eyes just started to shut, and he woke up on the floor of the church being resuscitated before the EMS got there and pulled him out. And his message was, especially as men, African American men, we work to achieve a certain level financially. And then once we get there, we've neglected our health so much that then we spend all the wealth trying to get our health back that we neglected. So that's always been in my mind in terms of when he said that. And he's on a board of something in Detroit, and I know he got to this really big position, and I was listening to him, and I was like, that is so true. A lot of us literally work ourselves to death. And he said that was his wake-up call, but he was fortunate enough. And what he said, you have to think, he saved his own life in a sense, because, back in the day, we used to have these beautiful, processes of having nurses in the church, or the ones who come and you pass out, they just lay a cover over you. But that was about the extent of their medical experience. They put the little cloth if you fall out. You need a little more than a cloth if you fall out in the church. So he said, I want a crash team. And that crash team that he implemented saved his life, in the church.
Yeah.
So the message was, yes, we need to think better. We need to understand the health issues. But man, isn't this something we have to have a crash team at the churches now? To get people to help them to sustain until the EMS got there. So we gotta focus on our health. We gotta focus on the spirituality, but we also have to focus on the health. And I appreciated him sharing that story as a pastor and as a director in a hospital. You would think, that he would have, you assume people understand those things, but you don't. It takes a lot to achieve certain levels, but you have to have that balance, like Tomas is saying, and trying to lay out. Wealth is health, and health is wealth, literally, and figuratively. And I've got to do better myself. I'm trying. I've lost some weight, lost about 15 pounds. I got more to go, and I'm gonna keep doing it. But I listen to this stuff too, man. You have to apply knowledge and wisdom to your life. You have to.
Yeah, when you were saying,
it's not just clients.
Yeah, when you was talking about taking care of yourself and doing things, I never used the word diet. I think Cheryl told me it's a life change, something that you're doing. And I was in the same boat with you, Joseph. The doctor didn't tell me I had to lose weight. I did it on my own. And I look at from March when I was 235 pounds. I mean, my knees was hurt and all this going on. So I went through a lifestyle change. Now I'm down to 218. And my wife's having told me, I don't hear your knees popping anymore. Because you don't know what I'm trying to say. All that weight that you carrying, you can't understand how that affects you. Just like going on with mental health, all that weight you carrying without talking about it will affect you.
Listen, I just went to I know I'm going to kill this name. I believe it's the Shuri Temple. The Shuri Temple. It was actually it's a kingdom that had was in this Last Samurai. And let me just tell you, it's a lot of walking. And stairs from a couple hundred years ago are built a little different. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was a reason why the samurai stayed in shape. Just walking around the grounds, you're going to lose some pounds. You know what I'm saying? But when I first got here, oh no, I wouldn't have made it. I wouldn't have made it to the temple. I'd have been like king. I might not make it to the mountaintop. y'all go head on, but I got up there. Right. And it's because I'm doing those things that, just naturally, instead of going down the elevator, I take the stairs, a lot of times. And my knees are bothering me at first, and ankles and everything else. But now, I had to get out here and do some things. It was at my daughter's field day. So, and I had to participate. I didn't know that. That wasn't on the brochure. at first, but I had to do some running. I had to do a relay, and all that. And I wasn't gonna let nobody show me up. Now I'm ex-military. I can't have. I'm looking at people like I got to do better than this person. Yeah, I know I'm 20 years older, but I refuse to come in last. I refuse. So I made it. But you got, there's gonna be some things in life, and I'm gonna share this with you. Somebody has challenged me to get to the top of Mount Fuji here soon, and I'm not gonna tell y'all when, but you're gonna see me slim down before I get to that point, because I'm not gonna be up on this mountain, having issues. You know what I'm saying? I know that the air is gonna be thinner, and I already know there's stops along the way I can rest, but that's what this is about. So at 53, I'm about to climb this mountain, and we're gonna make it happen. There's people older than me that are doing it, but I'm not doing nothing crazy now. I'm not hanging on this. You can walk up them. Yeah, I'm doing that. I ain't climbing. No. And there's going to be many stops all the way up. But I am going to make it. So, but that's the type of, you got to be willing to try to do in this life, right?
Yeah. Vichero just told me it's lifestyle change, not diet, because the first three words in diet is die. Yeah.
And that's what you feel like when you're on a diet.
Yeah.
like you dying.
Yeah.
That's 100% right. So just change your eating habits, take them stairs. I mean, it's amazing what you can do over time gradually versus these quick, drops and all that stuff. So, I like, I'm here. I love to swim. We got 200 and something 200 beaches around me here in Okinawa. So when it gets warm, now that I know what fish to stay away from and all that, I'm going to get in there a little bit more, you know what I'm saying? But you got to do your research now. Nobody told me about some stonefish until I got here, So when you come to Japan, you stay away from the stonefish. You can't get in the water without something on your feet. But then, go into the pools. There's always a nice pool here to get in. And that's a good cardio workout, low impact on them joints, them knees, that's good stuff. So, can't wait for it to warm up, because I'm not getting out there right now. The people out there doing it, I'm not built for that weather. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's for the fish. That's not for me. So I'll inside, that's what I've got to do. Whatever I do has got to be inside when it's cold. I'm not playing with it. But anyway, we've had fun, fellas. Man, Ronnie, no crazy questions. We only got about 5 minutes. No, so I know you usually say something.
Well, actually, I'm gonna leave those crazy questions alone. But I do want everybody to tune in at 8:30 tonight, because I have the whole cast of Bobby McMorris play. It was How Divorce Saved My Wedding, and what you're talking about right now sort of goes together on how his play went. There was outside people trying to penetrate the marriage to mess it up and all that stuff. So I'm not gonna give all the secrets away, but one day I'm gonna get Bobby on here, because he does a lot of playwriting, and I asked him about mental health. Boy, that brother broke things down to me just like you do, Joseph. So I'm gonna have to get him on here and see all that.
Come on.
And then also coming up on the 30th of this month, we got Karen Glass, if I pronounce her name right, Martha. She's a life coach in Florida, in Jacksonville, Florida. She's doing a great big seminar on that day on the Zoom call, where she's inviting over 200 people. And they're gonna talk about mental health, life coaching, all that stuff. And she asked me, will I be the MC? I said, do I got fly out there? Because I fly. She said, no, you do everything on Zoom. So she reached out to me for that. So we got, and I'll send an invite out to everybody.
Want to check it out, Ron? Because I'm gonna tell you, we've been threatening to do a workshop for a while as well, but I want to check that out, and then just stand by, because we got brother, I'm saying brother Tomas, but my brother Tomas.
Yeah.
On in New York, we got Craig in Grand Rapids. We got Tamara Spears. We got somebody else coming in very soon. The director in Michigan who saw what we were doing and wanted to get involved. We got Jared Moore down there in San Antonio. Of course, Martha Rice. Just so many folks. We got Jacques coming in. Now he's in. Help me out, brother Tomas. What area? New Mexico, somewhere Texas area right now.
He's between Houston and Oaxaca, Houston, Texas, and Oaxaca, Mexico.
I was never going to get Oaxaca, so I'm going. I'm gonna let you put that out there. But he's going to be coming in. So we got a phenomenal workshop in the works, and we're going to be putting that together for everybody. But definitely, we can't do enough of these. Right? We've got the need. We've got the folks. Our folks need it. A lot in terms of the mental health, in terms of the depression. All the things that we deal with. And remember, it's the holiday season now. Check on somebody.
Right.
Check on folks. On your seniors, military personnel. Those folks that maybe are in those areas like where is it? San Antonio. Just made it through basic training. Might not be able to get home. See if you can sponsor an airman or a soldier or whatever.
Yes.
For the holidays. You'd be surprised just knowing that you're checking on them, knowing that somebody's there. Look and see. There's activities that you can go to and bring possibly some support or some food or whatever. Just to let people know that you're thinking of them. Get out there, step outside your comfort zone, check on some of those seniors. Let's care about each other. Got a lot of interesting things going on in the news, but the one basic thing that we all can agree is that we're all human. So on that note, we should be able to understand the human need. And during the holidays, this is what they say, and I see it to be true. It's a time when people are always struggling with depression. You just get through the holidays together. I'm in the holiday spirit already. We got our little tree out here and all that type of stuff. But it's just, I don't know. I'm just in the mood to celebrate being alive.
Yes.
Making it through. There's so much going on, and all this is about enhancing and improving lives. So let's continue to do that. Happy holidays from the Impact team, from Impact Counseling, and we're going to just keep it moving and keep bringing great folks in front of you on this great show
Yes.
to help push the needle to the good.
Right.
That's what we're about.
I hear you. While you got some of your team on right now, I would like for each one of them, if you don't mind, to send their contact information.
Yes.
So we have all
Craig,
that.
you still down there, and Martha. And also Tomas has put his in the chat as well. So
and I
go
took
ahead and
it.
look that up.
Yeah, and I took it and put it on the chat on Facebook, so everybody had that information too.
Outstanding.
So,
All right, fellas. Well, hey, this has been an amazing time. It's 11:30 my time, JST. The bed is calling me. So, much love to everybody, and I'm out. So, thanks a lot for hosting us again, Ron. You always do phenomenal job, man. Thanks to all the listeners to the Impact Hour, and the saying. Your actions speak so loudly. I can't hear a word you're saying, so I'm gonna look at those actions and make sure those words and those actions match up, and that's what we do. So
Thomas,
that's what I got.
Mr. Thomas, Mr. Henderson, Tomas. My grandbaby's called Tomas. I keep on calling you Thomas for some reason. Hey, you have any last words for us?
Again, thank you for having me on the show today. Again, if you want to reach out, my info is at the way to contact me is info@starcoachingllc.com, or you can go to the Impact website and you can see me there. I look forward to working with you guys. But again, you got to be serious. Time is money.
All right. Thank you.
There's that Impact website right there. So you can get his information there as well, iccsmi.com. And you have to click on the information. It's not going to show up until you click on it. It's to keep people from it's a safety measure that the wonderful Mr. Brooks put in place.
Yes.
Yes. So don't contact me and say, hey, I can't see the information. You have to click on it. then you'll see the information.
Amen to that.
That you need to. So that's it. But I was gonna say something else, but Mr. Tomas, hey, this won't be the last time we get you on here, man. So I'm glad you're comfortable with the format, because we're gonna love to see you on here.
Thank you so much.
And everybody else, man. So I think we're going to form and get everybody on here once, at least once. Get
Yeah.
everybody on this, and so everybody can talk and we can see the whole team on here. So pretty excited that this thing is growing and we're helping people, and just really grateful for this platform worldwide. Definitely a dream come true for me. So.
Amen. All right, everybody. I
All right.
appreciate your time all the way from Japan and New York City. We covered half the world already, so that's good for us. So we appreciate it, Mr. Henderson, Mr. Lee. Y'all take care, and we'll catch you next time around.
Roger that. Thank you.
All right. Till next time.
All right. All right, you heard it right then and there. Ooh, the impact hour. That was some deep stuff going on, and I appreciate that everybody who had chimed on and was tuned in. And I don't know what else to say. It was a mouthful and a handful full of information that you have to turn around and digest some of that information or what they came across. So some of you may be seeking help right now. And maybe this opened up your eyes to seek help. Don't be scared, because our community, I'm gonna let you know right now, they are scared to go and ask for any type of help. But that's what we're here for. This is DJ Ron G on WSAN Radio. It is 56 degrees, 33 minutes after the hour. And let me see what I'm going to bring up to y'all right now. We got to come up with something good to keep this thing going. And we're here to 10 o'clock this morning. And I want everybody to listen to some doggone good music. All right, here's one. We got Lynn Collins coming your way. And I love this song right here because you know what? You have to think about things. And she tell you have to think. DJ Ron G on WSAN Radio. Well, not that one. Let's try this. There we go.